Is that? Thank you. Whenever I see a microphone stand, I don't know what to do with it. I remember at my last show, I pushed it down all the way, and I was like, that's not what I wanted at all. I used to do this joke. I don't know if it'll work. It's not holidays anymore. But I had this joke during the holidays. Is anyone familiar with the song Santa Baby?
Yeah!
Why do they play that on, like, regular, like, channels? Like, she's like, that woman is, like, really, really, like, into it. Like, she wants to, like, the concept of the song is, she doesn't want Santa just to buy her stuff. She wants to bone Santa. And that just leads me to all these uncomfortable questions. I was thinking, Santa, he has these elves, and we have all these stuff. Is he a freak? Would I be cool with that? I mean, takes the whip from the tear and everything. I guess I'll end with this thing that now that I'm on it is, I keep thinking now, what is the thing you're most comfortable with? Like, would you rather elves be, like, just their own creatures and they decide to be, like, where they want to be, like, they grow up and inspired to be elves? Or is it a Willy Wonka thing where if they go out into the world, they're just not safe? So they need a guy that will kind of be like a slave owner, but kind of not be. Or, even worse, this is the worst part of it. What if these elves, like in some pop culture, are children? Santa's sweatshop factory, that's not good. Not good. Professional wrestling and porn. And they do not get perfect things. They are both very simple. It's just it's painful, and I know a lot of it, which is a weird thing. So, a pro wrestler, when they fall down on the mat, it's not like a soft mat. It's concrete underneath. So they say if it's the equivalent to being hit by a car. And if you've ever seen just going on to a porn site and they have the commercials a little bit, people are just getting pounded. It just looks unpleasant to me. I think that's why I watch a lot of lesbian porn, because it's too hardcore for me to watch, But
You can tell by that joke is why I've been single for 9 years. It's true. It's sadly true. But I'm trying. I don't like the person I'm sort of becoming. I just turned 25, and you realize when you start saying hello to people, you say certain things, and you can't really control it. Why did I become the guy that says "sup, boss" to everyone? What's that for happening? I don't want that to happen, and it's happening uncontrollably. Sup, boss? It's fuck. Why am I saying that? That is not me. That's not what I represent. I'm not that type of person. Am I Bob the Builder type of character? So I was with another comedian, and we were coming back from a show that we did on yesterday, and I was thinking about strip clubs, and strip clubs are interesting to me because I've never been in one. You can tell. You can tell I'm a very childish man, but I was curious. They probably serve food at the bar, and I was curious. When they sell chicken strips, are they not breaded? That's just what comes to my mind. I had a lot of silly stuff in my head like that. When I was thinking of the term brothel, the place brothel, that doesn't sound like what it is. To me, that sounds like a place for sympathy. But that's just where words are interesting to me. I think, like, you know, it would be hell if you had to live, like, in a world where you had to live by idioms. Like, you actually had to hear news through the grapevine. You actually had to find some way to have your cake and eat it too. It would just be very hard to live. I like this a lot.
Abraham Lincoln for some reason. I don't know. It's weird that we have a lot of presidents that have done like not good jobs at all. Like we've had a president named Sack Taylor who they thought he was poisoned because he died from diarrhea. But they went and searched his body in like the 90s to like figure out if that was true, if someone had like poisoned him or not, because that's what they thought. Nope, just diarrhea. It was like 2 months into his presidency. It's like, and people are like holding these people to some type of standard. It's like, no, they're just trying not to shit themselves to death.
You expect me to do the homework on like the Spanish Inquisition or whatever? I just found out who Julian Michaels is. Like I just found out who Alexis Texas is. You think I'm gonna do the fucking homework? But how I do my homework back then is kind of like how I do my jokes now. It's like, but you didn't do the assignment. You just wrote some shit. It's like, yep, it's a C+. So that's all it is. But
Ow! Knights of Columbus, that hurts!
oh yeah.
Thank you, guys. I wasn't sure who was going to be here, so I was happy to see everyone. This is awesome. Yeah, I've been doing comedy a long time. Next month will be 14 years for me. 8 years doing stand-up. I did improv for 7 years, which no one should do. No one should do improv for 7 years. That should be like a punishment, like a misdemeanor crime. Like some shit could steal something from a store, make them do short form improv. It'll be fine. I don't know why I shit on it so much. I had a great time. I just was better because I couldn't do voices or impressions or anything. I remember one time in class I was like, hello, hello. And they're like, Richard, what the fuck was that? I'm like, that was my British accent. So now I just do stand-up. I have a weird stage presence, which I hate, because I have social anxiety. But I found a cure for my social anxiety. What I do is I take a Sharpie marker and I draw a smiley face on my nutsack. And that makes it better. I wrote so many jokes about my balls, it's nuts. It really is. We're all gender neutral here in 2023. Everyone knows what it's like to have balls. Especially around this time, they get very hot, they get very sweaty. So I found a solution to that. I have this really nice pair of aviators. I put them on my nutsack and it makes them cooler. My best friend Timmy comes to my room, he's like, these are really cool. I'm like, don't touch them. Don't touch those. Those are my personal sack shades. I think dick pics are a bad idea. Not just socially, but from an advertising standpoint. You want to leave people wanting something more. So I send pictures of my balls. I make it look nice. I make my pubic hair different hairstyles. I did like frosted tips like Lance Bass from NSYNC. I did the Island Boys for a while. They're weird cornrows. What I have now is I have a red fro, like Little Orphan Annie. So it's very musical. It's very theatrical. It's like it will come out tomorrow. It's a hard life. Now, as you can tell by those jokes, I have been single since I was 16 years old. Not doing well with the ladies. I like them, but I like bigger women, which is a weird thing. I love curvier women, which is weird because like guys will complain. They'll go on a date with a girl and they'll be like, oh, she was nice, but she was 10, 15 pounds heavier. I don't give a shit, dude. We're sharing appetizers. That's what's going on here. As long as you can fit in the fishnet stockings later, it's fine. I'm not going to get to see her in that moment because I have no game, but, you know, I just like to imagine it for later. I never know how to get into this material, even though it's the major part of what I am. I'm 29 and I'm a virgin, which sucks, but don't feel too bad for me. I get fucked by life every day. I'm just not, like, I'm a man child. Like, I just feel like I'd be doing bits if a woman tried to be intimate with me. Like, I'd just be doing jokes the entire time. She'd call me daddy in bed and I'd be like, did you clean your room? Did you do your homework? Go get your mom. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so I do like Beer Woman. I have a shitty taste in music too. I love pop punk music. I love emo music. I even love ska. But nobody's gonna get that joke. That's the impression that I get. If you hate this material, it's fine. We can bond the music industry. If you do get those references, you'll be like, wow, Richard, how many in-depth references to ska do you have in your act? Less than Jake. Now, here's the thing. I would love to hook up with the chubby emo girl. Like, that would be awesome. Hook up with the chubby emo girl. Take off my pants and jacket and dump a load of Blink-182 in her. You know. She better have protection, like some simple plan B. You don't want to be an American idiot and get pregnant. I'm not okay, I promise. I wasted my time and became a casualty society. I'm really in too deep. You know what's bad about those? They're all references to music and stuff. It's like how I did my homework as a child. My teachers would literally sit me down and be like, Richard, you did not do the assignment. You just wrote some shit. And I'm like, yep, it's a C+, so I'm failing upwards. I failed history class twice when I was a sophomore in high school. And I blame that completely on porn. I grew up in the golden age of porn. Like, I just found out who Alexis Texas is. Why do you want me to remember the Alamo? That's not fair. It's not fair at all. But yeah, I was a terrible student. I was just so stupid. Still am. Like, I'm a fake intellectual. Like, I like to think I'm smart and I like wordplay. But really, I'm just stupid. It's really just that. Like, whenever I hear the term shag carpeting, I get really impressed. I'm like, wow, that's carpeting that British people have fucked on. So, or I love the product Nutella, obviously, but it sounds like the Disney Princess of Coming to me. That's just Cinderella and nutting. That's. I feel the same way when I hear the word brothel. Like, to me, that sounds like a place where soup is made. Brothel. It's not. If it was, it'd be a very yeasty soup. I'm very gross in my app. This is what I do. I gross people out. Speaking of advertising, like I did earlier, because I'm Jewish, I'm part of the cabal, so I know that advertising and shit like that. Yeah, advertising is weird because there's a lot of L's in advertising. You know, you have Keebler L's for cookies. You have Lucky from Lucky Charms. He's an Irish elf. He's a leprechaun. The Rice Krispie Brothers, they're actually elves. They were actually conjoined triplets, and how they got their names was when they were snapped apart at birth. Snap, crackle, pop. That's why when you pour the milk into the cereal, you can still hear their bones cracking. It's pretty awesome. I want to tell you something that I love very dearly. I love coming. It's my favorite thing to do. It's the best. I love it so much. But I'm not really, like I mentioned, not really doing anything with it to better society. So, you know, that's sort of my my issue. I did a science experiment when I was 14 years old. I tasted my own cum. I'm not a pervert. I'm a scientist. And the conclusion that I came to is that it's very salty. Now, personally, I feel McDonald's French fries have gone down in quality in the past 10, 15 years. So I feel the way to add to the world, like I want to do, is they should have me come on their fries and they can extract the salt from there. They could even make me the fucking mascot. Who likes clowns? Just have me on the arches like a big boy type of version of me, just on the arches jerking off. That's a special sauce. Thank you.